Mic test, mic test, 1 2. Mic test, mic test. Mic test, mic test. Mic test, mic test. Test 1 2, test 1 2, test 1 2. Sensitive microphone. Cool. Sound live. Test, test. I suppose that's fine. Sound test. Sat. Okay, and now I have to have this open. Let me mute my mic for a bit. Yeah, I was muted. Thank you, Acronomone. All right, I'll say that again. So we're doing initial Shogi versus chess testing in Titans Battalion under the new Ramparts system, and once we because the new system means we don't have to iterate all of the balance against chess and then check how that is against everything else, because we have individual matchup tuning with the new system. We're just going to immediately dive into tests. Lily Lionmane will be the Shogi expert that we will be consulting. So this will be a little bit more of a loose stream. I'm not going to focus on entertainment, but anybody who's been following along and cares, absolutely join talk. Give feedback, review the games, anything you want to do. Okay, so because this is a balance test, we're going to start on T2, and I'm going to start going second with the chess army, and we're going to hand Lily the Shogi army in its current form. Welcome. And we're artificially raising our skill level, especially my skill level, by being able to backtrack moves, talk about them with each other, and basically fully discuss the board state, including possible future paths. However, I will say Lily is a lot stronger than me in Shogi specifically and in drop games in general, and that will affect things. But unfortunately, I need to kind of be here, at least involved, and I've only been able to enlist the help of one strong Shogi player so far. If I had two, I'd consider it differently. Okay, so Lily will be the Shogi army, going second or going first. So that means that they're going to place. And Shogi, the army currently has two layouts, either the 3x9 or the 4x9. And that is up to her. I think, personally, the chess army develops really fast and you don't want to deal with early night attacks, so the 4 deep is probably better. That goes here because it's still the territory or the battlefield, right? So it goes to here. Lily made their army pink because they wanted to. I only have. We're not testing Byzantine, so I only have one layout. I think I'm gonna go dead center, just to give my bishops a little bit more breathing room on this side, because I already kind of cordoned them off, and they put the rook in their center file anyway, so. Technically, I do have Ramparts too, but I don't have any pieces that go in there at the moment. So we're going to ignore mine because it's impossible to reach there. And it doesn't affect anything. However, your drops are currently 2 lances and 2 knights in hand, and they must start or be dropped back here throughout the game. My question is, does that feel even, essentially, so far? So let me just give those to you. All right, so you're putting lance there, knight there, knight there. Pause analysis, initial thoughts. How does this feel balance-wise? And you decide to start with all of them played instead of putting any in hand. We need to figure out battlefield counters. I'm medieval and you're shogi, so I get 1, and you get 5. All right, so you have 5 battlefield charges. I have 1. So we'll just, yeah. That. It won't let me put a 1 on it? Rude. Oh, it's because it's there. That's right. That's a known glitch. You can't change the number of the piece in the bottom right square. That you're very safe and will have some very nice pressure later on. Fair, fair. Well, I'm playing chess stuff, so obviously I should do chess-like ideas. So this is focusing on, like, this implies to me maybe center castle, like static rook type deals, or maybe only like to here. I feel like that's a pretty safe bet. Also put a number on king. That would work too, but I think it's easier to keep track of for me having them all. Urashino? Is that crab? Is that the crab castle? So that implies the possibility of climbing silver. It's odd though. This piece feels weak to me right now, but it's also easy for you to defend again. Is there any way for me to attack this long term? Yeah, I need the other bishop in play. Alright, so I'm just going for 2 pawns, center pawns. Dominate your bishop real quick. Do the Shogi style drops only go to the Ramparts? No. Shogi style drop captured pieces go to hand and can be redropped later under normal Shogi rules. Okay, so that's very center castle. Gotcha. With very symmetrical ideas too. I'm gonna go there. Is it the impenetrable castle? I don't know all the meme openings for Shogi, name-wise. Okay, so they are running for a real castle. So my immediate real talk is I think I need to develop one of these pieces before, like, just under normal chess principles. Yeah. Normal chess principles, I need to develop one of these pieces and then do something with the dark square bishop and castle. However, I don't know if castling is strong immediately or if I should let them develop pressure on both the center and the left side and then decide which one I'm more comfortable with. Because I don't feel like an enemy with only very very common collected ideas on this lance development, because that keeps this under wraps and helps hold the center together easier. Nice. This knight is a little sad right now, but I'm imagining it'll be fine later. Okay. But my thoughts right now are, I want to make this move, but I don't think I can yet. I think it's more principled for me to move my knight out and do more development first before doing anything brash. Like, I don't even think I should take here yet, right? And this lets the knights actually get into the game. Okay, but what's actually the point of moving my bishop yet? Because my bishop, it doesn't have a way to actually get to anything this way, right? Because of my dark square center. Like, I could do something like this, but I don't have it supported yet, and I would have wanted to go here if I'm doing that. To be fair, this isn't protected right now, so I could just move the bishop there now, and then prepare after they defend it somehow, like this, or even this, with this move. This move. This one's terrible because of that pawn move, but still. That seems valid. This knight can't actually advance yet, so I do need to make this type of move first, or at some point. Okay, so this gold gets involved for the defense. And there is a bit of an idea of pushing these pawns completely into the center. Which then would also open up this knight to begin advancing. But I guess if I want to do that, this isn't a square under attack, so I might want to do this first to open up this in the future. What do you think? What is the piece that looks like a bomb in the right menu? That is a bomb. It doesn't matter for any of this. Why did you do that, Lily? Why? Oh, it's called a terrorist? I'm deleting that. I'm just saying for the game review, it'll be easier on me to prune that when you do it. I'm teasing. It's not actually something I'm upset about. I think this first. What's the downside of continuing developing first? Because you're so defensively minded as an army, and how safe you seemingly are, I don't think there is downside for me to just continue improving my position, right? Like, this isn't even something that you can fork and attack unless you go here first. And that kind of just walks into this, because you would have to have gone here and have this defended already in order to stop that. So yeah, I'm just going to do this. That's valid. I could probably just take that with a pawn. That does weaken my light square attack this way. Tactically. But at the moment, what's the downside, right? You might put lance here for the pawn and then knight. Like, I don't feel like this is a bad thing. Like, sure, it negates my current plan, but it doesn't hurt, you know? Not a real threat. I could spend my 1 battlefield charge to put this back, but that would lose this, I suppose. Yeah. Hmm. This is still a move I need to do at some point because your silver's overloaded. And like, even if you take here, it doesn't hurt me. I don't think. Oh, there's a potential issue with pins. Reading into the future. Takes sidestep. So somewhere in this, I need to move this knight and actually get something out of it. Because this is poorly placed because of this lance. That's something that didn't happen before. So with proper play, immediately, this lance rampart idea does lend itself to strong pressure down the center of the board from the back rank. Interesting. And the king's pretty safe here. And you do have all of these covered. Mm-hmm. I do have a battlefield charge. I would say the king is weak. I don't. Because I don't have an easy way to get onto this diagonal. It still has these generals nearby and the extra knights helping. So, like, there's a lot of pokiness by this king. So, infiltration involves a lot of captures. And keep in mind, I can't attack this king with weak pieces very easily because my only weak pieces are the pawns. So I'm like, I literally have to lead with a knight and immediately go into a mutual fight where I basically give up a piece. Sap the bishop to take the gold. Take pawn in front of king, take the pawn in front of bishop. So what you're saying is this, probably this, or this, one of the two. They have options there. And then some combination of this capture, this capture, this capture. Yeah. Oh, spending one of your battlefield charges here? But that causes Nifu, so you can't. Mm-hmm. Am I fine giving a bishop in hand right now? Not entirely. Because this pawn is already advanced. Alright, Lily, could you show me that sequence again? The one that you were just reading? Okay, so the line would be, let's just put it on paper. Let's get it onto the field, and then just play it. Or something like this after even. Yeah, because here I can take this way. I can move here. I actually really like this move personally. Keep my knight in the game for the follow-up. And then you drop pawn. Actually, I think this works. Because... Oh, and you drop bishop here. Wait. You don't have... Yeah, this pawn's still in the way, so I have an extra layer of defense. If this actually works, my eagle will raise by 500%. Valid. You're getting pretty close to the Banner Saga stream? Ah! Don't remind me. Then I think I take here. And then you have that covered that way. Yeah, because you have two defenders on this square. But what do you do if I take immediately? This? I still have a silver. Yeah, because these knights help out so much with defense because they just cover the second rank more. Wow, it's really... You're a tough nut to crack. Wait, so you can't drop a pawn on the bottommost rank if you're playing shogi pieces? Yeah, you can't drop pawns here, and you can't drop shogi pawns here, and you can't drop pawns here, and you can't drop shogi pawns here. That's the current rules. And that's been that way for a little bit. Because we found my previous fears were unjustified and that I was being dumb. Yeah, the ramparts are not real squares. You can only enter them if you're capturing. And this is still treated as the back rank for the sake of promotion. And everything else. So, like, it's a good example. The king can't go here. You have an idea? I'm listening, but I'm not sure. Knight takes shogi pawn. This? Oh, because it targets that bishop. That gives them a knight in hand, but I have those squares covered, kind of. And they don't have a big attack yet. That's not the worst idea I've ever heard, because it gets my queen involved. And I don't think this move works yet. Or this move. Or this move. Or this move. I don't think any of these work yet. For the record. Because those are the four I've been trying to read. So these are my 5 candidate moves for this, right? For either of the pawn drops, if you just take here and then take back, I get this. So I come out on top. So the pawn drops have the most potential, essentially, is what we're leading up to. This is a cheeky idea, but I think it might be a little bit too cheeky. Because on either of those two lines, with gold takes, knight takes, bishop takes, rook takes, I have Gote for pawn and knight for gold and bishop, with rook on the head of bishop against the king, and a good amount in hand. But the knight in hand isn't an immediate threat, and the pawn in hand isn't a threat yet either because the pawn is in the way. These are causing Nifu issues for the battlefield charge of this guy. You get a lance to put in front of the rook to take bishop. What are you? So bang, bang, bang. I also get a lance to put here for the bishop capture idea, with it becoming a gold at some point. Valid. Does a knight help in the defense? Yeah, a knight could be dropped here. And of course, there's ideas of like pawn here, I suppose. Huh. Anything that involves moving the gold and putting the pawn back is too slow. Lily, I need an honest opinion. Is knight takes or one of these pawn drops more scary? I think it has to be this pawn because it's more forcing. Knight takes? Silver there? Oh, because my knight is then pinned to my queen? I guess I could do... Oh, you're saying with bishop takes, knight takes, gold takes, rook takes? I don't think order matters on which you capture with first. Because as long as I take with the knight next, it's check. Oh, another follow-up pawn drop? Okay, so she's reading it out. Why wouldn't I retake with knight and check? Especially if I get a bishop and a gold out of it. Because I don't think giving you Sente is too dangerous here. The worst case is like, this is your attack plan, right? And if the bishop is gone, your attack is very stunted. And even giving you knight in hand, I guess the attack plan would be something like bang, maybe even here promote, get captured with some sort of yeah, your attack isn't scary to me at the moment. So I feel very safe even though my king's exposed in the middle. There is the possibility of pawn drops bishop here, and then because you have the knight here, if I push and promote, you can either take with knight or just move back. So this pawn drop could just lead here, but then I can just do this check, yeah, with the chess pawn, and that's really annoying because then we go here. Oh, but you could retake and I go here, and then you're here. Then my queen's here. Oh, you're looking at this move? Oh, you're. I see. The redrop. Gotcha. You're so the deep cut. So after the knight takes eventually on this square. Yeah. Lance capture is an option. But that just leads into knight takes back. Potentially. Depending on whether or not this got used on this side. Mm-hmm. Someone told me I was at 170 Twitch followers. Is that true? Because that's like almost the same number of people that are in the Discord. Damn. That surprises me, to be honest. Okay. I think I really want to try this pawn drop line. Oh, thanks for the follow. Okay, so you're going for the bishop. I think I do pawn drop, the normal pawn drop here. You do also have the gold takes, but that leaves this vulnerable on some things. I don't like for the chess pieces that the pinks are too close. So I'm going to make the chess pieces stay white. Apologies, Lily. It needs to be more obvious than that. I believe I get this knight now. Blue works. Blue works. I'll accept that. Grab me a token. Oh, and make it pink. I believe that's R. Yep. And then grab this. Alright, so you have this and this still. I actually think in this drop game that your bishop is worth more than my rook because my rook can't promote. Yeah. This is tough. This is real tough. Because I'm even looking at like this idea, right? Gold takes, knight takes, bishop takes, rook takes, and then I'm in. With a gold and a silver. This close to their king. Yeah, this feels spooky. I think that worked. Oh, no, this isn't off board, Lily. You accidentally put it over here. Oh, we did it at the same time. Let me delete that. Force of habit, probably. Let me give you some space over on this side for your stuff. We probably should have used a bigger board for this. She deserves it and more. Pretty valid, pretty valid. Alright, I'm grabbing this bishop. Check. Now I have a gold and an anchor. Pieces in hand cannot be dropped on the ramparts, by the way, by either player, since you can only enter the ramparts with a capture and a drop is not a capture. It's just okay. No, that. Oh, because I immediately retake. Yeah, valid. Thank you. It can be a bad idea to put my king in front of my queen like that. However, I'm still okay. And I need the queen to be able to come over here for the rook when the king takes for my attack. So if I take the queen off the back rank right now, my attack falls. It doesn't work anymore. Valid, valid. This is pinned, so I can't go there. So I am going to go here. Here? Here. Well, I'm no longer able to castle. So here's my options. This square, this square, this square. This square is the only one that I don't have a knight attack on me. So I'm moving back here. Valid. So that leaves me here. Knew that was coming. Oh, fair. Have to go this way, which is unfortunate. Good resource. So I'm safe from Nifu, but not from pawn checks. I'm in front of my pawns, which is never a good thing. This move is technically valid. This guy's technically hanging. I technically have eyes on sight on that and that. This guy is not technically hanging. So I have good retakes here. I just need them to run out of checks. Okay. Takes with king. Check. pawn drop because the knight anchor. So that prevents that from being as strong. I have lots of pieces in hand. I need to use them now. I do have pawns for taking the king on a walk if I want to try to drag him forward, and he doesn't have friends on the file except for here. Friends on the file are pieces able to stop me from walking the king forward with pawns. So I can only do 2 pawn walks. So pawn capture. And then if they don't capture, it gives me an anchor point and I can continue a pretty solid attack. This would also be an option for a later pawn walk from this guy. I have 2 bishops, a gold and a silver. I have to have an attack here. Hold on. I have to. And they're just waiting on me to stop giving checks for the rook drop here or here. Probably this one. Yeah, because that would, in fact, be mate. So if I am in threat mate from the rook drop. So every move I do either has to be check or deal with the threat mate. Which the easiest way to deal with the threat mate right now is probably this capture, but it leads to this, and then it's still mate in a few. So that one doesn't do it, so it would have to be a drop. What drops would I have? Probably things there, maybe. I'm just too exposed. My king safety is too low. Okay, so I have to mate. It's mate or die. First check for this square. What are the ideas? The gold covers this. The knight covers. The knight covers. This covers. So my only options would be from here or here. This square is not covered. So these are my squares of anchor point. And of those, I would have a silver to bring him back here, but that increases the king's safety, so I don't want him to go back there unless I have more. I could do like pawn drop there, gold drop there, and then what I have? Bishop ideas. Bishop here, gold drop, gold take, king, knight even. So this knight and this gold moving there is a pretty big problem. Pawn drop, other pawn drop, like chess pawn. And then maybe a gold drop here for the chase. And then they go. No, because then I still run out because these are diagonals and the generals have his back. So my issue mainly would be this run. The king can just run. And how do I stop the king from running? Fuck if I know. Probably. I'm wanting to hear her thoughts, but it's hard to do that. Missing this was very amateur of me. I shouldn't have missed this. Because that does deal with most of the problems. And it's just a natural follow-up on this knight drop being able to simultaneously be part of an attack and defense. It's just a natural thing that happens. I have so many pieces in hand. I do think this endgame is interesting. If why not just take the knight? So this helps a lot. Maybe you're kind of right. That's actually a pretty valid move. because it removes this anchor point. So it's no longer threat mate. It gets rid of the knight defending this. They're still under pressure. I guess like a rook might go here or something. But whoop-de-doo. Having a rook in hand would be really nice about now too. And a knight. Oh god, having a knight in hand. Chef's kiss. That'd be so beautiful. Plus it helps that. Just calmly takes the knight after all of that. Well, I guess I need some more squares. I have too many pieces in hand for it to be super useful. But I do think that's better than all the shit I was reading. Ooh. Ooh, that hurts. Lily, why didn't you tell me? It's not the only threat. Oh, that's with check too. And the queen promotions also check. Ow. We have to keep track that queen isn't a full queen, by the way, and we need to keep track of the promotion. Which I understand that's not how Crazy House does it. Once you promote to a queen, there's just 3 queens in the drop pool to prevent the pawn promotion to be as powerful. I'm in check right now. Oh. Oh, like doing this and then my queen dies? That does bring up a pretty good point that, like, well, I can't drop a piece here and here simultaneously. So even if I, like, drop something here, my queen just dies. Which doesn't fully matter if I just have an attack, you know? Do I just have an attack? I don't think so. Wait. Wait. I'm looking at silver drop here. And then takes this. Could be a thing. I'm looking at silver drop here because I don't think I need the silver for the attack. I'm even looking at like pawn drop here. But my point is I think after knight drop here, check. If they do anything that doesn't put me in check ever during this, after some sort of block drop, just kill the king before she gets to drop the queen. Kind of valid. It is still like a super general defensively. This knight here as part of an attack has so much promise. Because say here, I'm also imagining like maybe even starting with like the pawn drop here. What if they come forward? Then they're getting themselves out of this dodge. Like, oh, because then I can move this knight naturally and still have the knight in hand. Do I need the extra defender on the bishop? Nah, this rook ain't doing nothing else. Boom. Okay, so you take there. My next thought immediately, pawn drop here. King sidestep. So I'm looking at this here takes, and then potential ideas with this bishop drop takes. This here, gold drop, this here. Silver drop this here. I still have knight in hand, but I'm out of attackers almost. And that feels wasteful somehow on the anchor points. Like I did extra I didn't need to. What if I drop here and they just back off? I feel like you should have just taken the lance. This? Maybe. I don't think so though. I do not think so. I think that leaves my king 2 exposed in Gote, and I'm already way too down. And things would just go really bad really quickly. Two most powerful peaches in the matchup? What do you mean? What do I do if the fucker just runs? I suppose I have... If I do silver drop there and then I do knight here, this... Or even like a gold drop so that I can support this. And then it just takes back. This gold is annoying, but I'm still thinking. I feel like there has to be a mate here. Lily is not a responsive balance test partner. I just know they're making good moves. They're a powerful balance test partner, but not someone to bounce ideas off of. Lily is either laughing or laughing. I'm trying. Okay. So there's no real mate idea that you see. The problem is the king just runs away most of the time. And I don't have a way to cut you off from just going all the way. Like it just keeps going. And take Lance, kill here, and then the queen's coming on the follow up. And it's just going to be some combination of rook and queen for mate. You know? So I have to kill now or I lose, but I I either find it or I resign, basically. Why you always turn off? Do you have mate in one? That's a question. Yes. No? What? Bishop drop here to try to bait this forward? Or back here to try to bait it backward to give me... King could still take on this one and this one. So the gold doesn't have to move. Yeah, bishop drop doesn't work. In reality, it just improves their king's safety and gives them a bishop. We don't play hope chess here. What I really need is a rook drop, because if I had a rook drop somehow, which 1, 2, 3 rooks, none of them belong to me, queen would also work. I could force them back here, get the rook drop in, force them forward, and start harassing from over here, right? And that would force this, and then I'd be able to do stuff. But I haven't received a rook drop, so therefore their king is safe. And it's not so much received as found a rook drop. It's like a quarter of a rook. I need the sideways. I need the sideways portion. In fact, if it just went left on my screen, that would be perfect. Just left. I just need a left, not a forward. I mean, because forward, even if I push them the king all the way to here, which I can do, does that change my my potential of getting mated? Not really. It gives me an additional square, and then gives them another way to give me a follow-up check that improves their king safety too. So yeah, it doesn't really help. Yeah. I'm not gaining sufficient attackers from the Shogi army to deal with this right now. At least for my level of skill. Alright, I'm going to resign here. I'm going to call it on analysis. Black resigns. And I want to try to find the first mistake I made in this game. Okay, so that very clearly telegraphs you want to go this way defensively, and that you want to open these files offensively, which are on either side of my king, so really valid. then it would be. Oh, you think here? That bishop move? You don't think that works? That's fair. That's kind of questionable, because it doesn't actually improve out anything. Hmm. I did think about this. Let's look at this line. I think attacking right away or moving towards castling is better. That's an idea just for normal chess development. I don't like this move though. It's not that different positionally. And I don't think my king is much safer here. Yeah, and it puts another thing on the file for the lance pins. You also can FSF this game, except for Battlefield and Ramparts. And the board size, all of which are outside of FSF's range. You can do Ramparts, mobility region? No, because it still can enter via castling. Or via capturing, my bad. So, like, if my rook is here, it could still capture this lance. Mobility region just locks you completely out of a board space. If I'm gonna worry about the lance and the queen, I would much rather move the queen. Either so that I can get the queen more onside for the board, something like this or this. But this is probably best idea. Let's look at this. Balance-wise, at least, this doesn't seem far off. Of course, it's always going to feel like... another thing, I think we should swap sides, Lily and I, on who's playing what. So real quick. Oh, let me just... That's dumb. I'm dumb. I don't know. Just trying to figure out how to select multiple things to recolor them. Why not? We both just click flipboard. Sure. I was trying to make them not pink, but so that I could make yours pink, because I thought you'd want that. Oh, good job. Okay. Knight takes is annoying. Oh, just playing this out to here. This is the line you read. Takes with bishop. I don't like this. Oh, yeah, fair. That's a double anchor now? And this is hanging. This can't back up. There's nothing in hand. So my legal moves here that do something are this, which weakens the king. Yeah, it's this. I guess this. which reduces the strength of this lance. I could also push this lance forward, I suppose. That wouldn't be too bad. Oh. Before I forget about this idea, let me just add it to a branch. This also improves the king safety a little bit. So now the threat is promotion there, and then all kinds of issues starting here, which is hard to deal with because my attack is slow at the moment and there's nothing in my hand. I mean, even this, like, what if I did this and then backed up? I feel like that's a mistake. That's a rookie mistake. That would be well known if it was possible. Like, that's something that gets taught to shogi players early on, that that's not a good idea. Fascinating. Spending your one battlefield charge on that. That would help mitigate, like, if I wanted to just leave the token here instead of taking with silver. That way I could get the bishop out of dodge and help it and allow it to still continue assisting in the defense without dealing with much. Of course, the token can go here, but then my bishop can go all the way to here, right? So the idea is having the bishop around to defend is more useful than otherwise. I still... So just keep building the attack. So this just works for black, is what you're saying on this line? Or what was Gote to start with? Oh, no, you're explaining to them. A bit, yeah. It's in my chess nature to keep slicing. Yeah, that's a very common mistake chess players have in shogi. Trading down is a simplification in chess, so it's usually a good idea. Recruit a good crazy house player or bug house player to play chess pieces. I can find one. I know where some are that are loosely interested. Would you like me to go grab some in the next few days? Okay. Also to do another game. Yeah. Where Roland has Shogun? I think I would get dismantled. Because if we think about this, really, if we look at the game objectively real quick, having played pretty well up to this point, we can expect this to be a decent position, right? At least for the max level of play Lily and I are currently capable of in the time that we have put in so far. This position can be considered a relatively normal mid-game position before trades in this matchup. And the question is, who has the advantage right here, knowing that this move and ideas like it are coming. No one can beat Lily by choosing Shogun. Crazy House players are pretty good players, especially in this type of variant, especially if we find a strong one. So, analyzing this position and figuring out who's winning here is a really reasonable concept. And then if we find that somebody is winning, we can try to figure out from there if the losing side made a mistake that made that possible. And then if not, then we may be able to glean something about the matchup. You know, a Crazy House world champion, you could try to get them on. That would be amazing. Is Lily actually pro level in Shogi? Uh, I know, I know she was in our American team for the World Shogi Youth Championship. I think it was some tournament with a similar title to that. Because my brain is good at game design. World Shogi League Team USA with an undefeated first place season in 2021. Good fucking job. Um, my brain has been tuned for a decade for game design and balance with a focus on this chess stuff, right? However, we are exceeding, after all of this baseline building, we are now exceeding the threshold of skill level where my playability is sufficient for balance testing because we're so far into this, right? And that is growing frustrating because I've done so much so far, but I can't get more out of it without the help of strong players for the actual balance testing once I have the rule set in place that feels right and looks like it's going to work right. So who is winning here? Because it looked to me on the line we played out that black was winning here. And that I got the move order wrong and gave up tempo for this for nothing. I wonder what happens if you just hunkered up and played the hedgehog as the chess side? Turtling? Does Shogi have sufficient material to attack? Play the hedgehog with developed knights and bishops? Medieval loses by turtling IMO? Yeah, gold tokens and promoted lances are problematic for the defense. And they don't have sufficient, they don't have generals to cover those squares multiple times in the ways that chess would need to. You end up sacking a bishop or knight for defense if you turtle. That's valid. Of course, I could say that with all the confidence in the world, but I'd have to see it happen a few dozen times with proper level of play for me to really validate it. Although that's my instinct. Because I can. Lily, you're the strongest player here. Who's winning this board state? Just quick feel with. lots of material coming into the attack, but also plenty of defense to dig through. It also feels like these are a little offsides, general-wise, so the king might be too weak. Hard to say. Black has a significant advantage because of the initiative. Okay. Black has a significant advantage here. Then did white make a mistake somewhere? Because it doesn't feel like it. Maybe it would have been better to keep the king in the middle rather than trying to bring it over here, because I don't think you have time for a corner castle as this army. Overcastled and underestimated the edge. Okay, same basic idea. King probably has to stay in center and try to find more counterplay initiative. So maybe like here, start pushing here or here to prepare an attack on the king side for the chess side, which maybe meant that this slants was misplaced at the very beginning of the game. It might have needed to either stay in hand or get placed here, but this knight would have been in the way. Maybe here for the double stack down this file. The sleeve lance was useless. Maybe leave a lance in hand. I think center lance did a really good job for your like counterplay down the middle, but sleeve lance was more integral for your long-term prospects, especially if, like, say right now, instead of doing what you did, this would be the right type of idea to try to make a trade and get into the middle of the board more directly. Because then after this capture, right, and then like bishop here, you keep in mind you still have 5 battlefield charges, so you could even do this and have immediate, well, no, because of this. So maybe this is too early and you need to do this first. So this, planning on this so that you can sidestep later. That's an interesting idea. It's interesting that the battlefield movement does not matter too much when it's not infinite. So you're almost looking for opportunities to spend them to make them valuable. Yeah. One of the things that I'm worried about with the center lance is if you are going to keep king center, it's just staying in the file of the king, and the king's blocking the way. What's up, Trung? Let's start another game. Let's start from the beginning. I think I have a good idea of Medieval's game plan, so I do want to play the chess side again, though. So let's start this over, but this time chess will be white. Chess will start Sente. And we'll put it on the same board. Why not? Let me export both of these end lines. Let's export this one, as well as I'm just gonna throw it in. I'll throw it in. Fine. I guess I'll throw it into scores and replays like normal. Shogi v chess balance test final line game 1. let's look, and then also look at this line real quick. Export. Shogi v chess balance test. Game 1, line 1. Cool. All right, now we'll enter game 2, which would be here. Yeah. And then just promote to main. And this time you'll start as Gote. No way your king ever stays in Igyoku. Wind. Okay, so what's the wind comment mean? Once again, I don't have any reinforcements in this matchup at the moment, so I don't have to worry about my ramparts. I'll just keep the off the board green. Interesting, going with the lance double stack down here. I hope my music isn't distracting then. Can you even hear it? I'm not going to turn it up because obviously you're already vibing, but for my future reference. I can hear it? Okay. Can't hear it. Got it. Alright, so you're going with... Interesting. This type of idea. Different setup, flank attack. Still dropping everything immediately though. What in the world did it censor? Those circles aren't random. I'm literally just thinking about my major game plan and trying to decide if I should push this pawn or this pawn first. I don't think... Instinct tells me that based on this castling side, that this is my ideal attacking pawn. However, my king placement makes that not a good idea. And because I'm the Sente player, they just got to choose. Like, they could have flipped their rook to here and their bishop to here and did everything exactly mirrored if I swapped these. So it doesn't matter. This is always an option for them. I think just don't overthink it. Go king's pawn. Okay, so we need to dominate that diagonal. I can't fully dominate it like I could in the last setup. Okay, so I think in the last setup your bishop was actually won over comparatively. So you went down here, which let me deal with that pretty naturally. However, with your bishop here, oddly enough, I can't block your bishop in as easily. But it also means you don't have as strong of an attack yet. You've also weakened this side a little bit by moving the rook, and you're focusing more on your attack. So I need to be careful. I feel like there's a lot of lines where my knight goes here, so I need to get the bishop out maybe, but I don't see a good place to put that. Let's start here. Silver, just for defense. Let's bring my light square to here, just on principle. Develop behind the pawns. Oh, the king's running. All right. Close in your bishop, let mine out. Same basic principle of attack. Push the pawn. Okay, so this type of idea with one bishop staying in the back and one coming forward, going for the two bishop diagonal, the knight's involved loosely, and the flank pawn begins pushing in front of my rook, seems really common. It's not exactly the same because like my king and queen have swapped sides. However, I am Sente here, so I should be the one to make that decision, or they should be the one to make that decision to throw off my attack by a turn or two. So the situation ends up relatively the same between going first and second. Because while I'm ahead a turn technically, they have ways to force me to make extra turns. Plural, maybe. On one hand, I want to do this because it feels good from a chess brain. On the other hand, I don't like burying this bishop, and I don't think I have time to bury this bishop if I need the bishop. So because I have this bishop, moving the knight here feels bad. But my bishop doesn't need to move to be involved in the attack, and developing the bishop feels bad. So this knight is just part of my defense. And that also means this rook is kind of just part of my defense for going for a rapid attack right now. And because you don't have any pawns pushed over here, I don't have easy targets to begin attacking. So one concept I do have is actually queen here and then prepare for this. So I'm actually going to make a bunch of lines real quick in this position just to like look at possibilities. No, I'm skipping this. The rest of it. So this idea immediately, and yeah, I think that's it. I don't know about, like, I don't see a lot of value in these moves, even though, like, they seem to have some kind of promise. Obviously, I don't feel like I should take. I feel like that's just wrong here. Maybe I'm wrong, right? But I don't feel like I should take here. Because what's the worst case scenario? Push, and then I take with knight? And then it's rook in, pawn in, and then I have another piece for my attack? No, I should continue my attack. Like, I can even just take with pawn and accept that I've doubled pawns over here because that doesn't really matter. And then what are you going to do? Trade rook for pawn? That's not a good idea. This is more of a threat, but it still takes a little bit. It makes this more of a possibility, but then push here is a thing, and then this here. That's an idea. That does not feel bad at all. Because now you... What's wrong with this?
You got that? Good.
What are those? Awards?
Yes, they are. Make over $1 million with a funnel, and you can take one of those bad boys home.
No.
You don't see an order tag? That's Horde. H-O-R-D-E.
Allowed to swear here.
Yeah. So she agrees with me. Push here is just met with this. Push here is just met with this.
So find your funnel,
I'm fine. And you don't want to actually get my other knight involved in the attack yet. Okay, so now I have time. So I should either push here or push here. I believe those are my two main options. Because if I push here, pawn takes, queen takes, and there's still the threat of taking here normally. What about push here? This pawn pushes, and I have no fangs. I have anchor points for drops, but I don't have fangs. That also would control silver pushes for silver's getting involved in attacks. So I don't think that, but they can always do this to get rid of it to try to lift the silver. This silver, because this is the attacking silver. This guy's just on defense duty. These aren't moving. In fact, he may come to help the defense even. But this silver is part of the attack, potentially long term. Oh, the Orda tag on the stream? Don't worry about that. Okay, so the question is this or this. I think this is much simpler of an idea. This involves a lot of calculation. I don't think it's time yet. I'm still going to add it as a branch line here, but this is my idea. Just keep pushing, get ready for the attack, keep building. No reason to get too fancy, you know. Just go forth, do great things. There's even like, okay, that came forward, which prevents this push here or here, right? Because now if I push here, this just happens. There is this concept. Just using that my one battlefield charge now. Speaking of which. Thank you. This is an idea, as is this. Because if I push here, takes, or takes, I have lots of things involved. And for this one, I'm actually blocking this down a bit. I don't want in the long term to have interfered with these being parts of the attack. But at the same time, doing this also unlocks this idea, the bishop sack. But I think the bishop sack would be too early. What about this? What about just saying, fuck it, pawn step there, and I don't need the pawn too involved in the attack other than to control this square? I don't think it's a great idea, but it does have this going for it. But no, that doesn't work. Okay, so it's either this or this, definitely. I don't think this works, at least not at the moment. Not while this is back here. Forcing me to come to you is interesting. I also could get another pawn involved in the attack. Or I could do this immediately. Both of those are valid. Because what? Then I'd be threatening this, this, this. That's real. Then this pawn push is met with what? Not a lot. Edge pawn has a big bot works vibe. Not works. Yeah. This is an interesting concept. I don't know if it's well timed. Because everything I do trips up one of my bishops for a turn or two. Right? And I'm obviously not going to castle directly into their attack, but I'm not going to castle this side either because this is my attacking. So I am probably center king. There is this idea as well. And I haven't decided on any of these moves, like loosely. I'm still like I'm overwhelmed with candidate moves. Let's just put them all on the board, I guess. That's a candidate move, sure. The bishop takes a sack into lance, followed by the pawn push. That's valid. Ooh, okay. That's spooky. And the lance has no teeth, too. You like the pawn moves for Adun? Generally speaking, I think for chess, I will be able to build a massive attack at some point, and it's just a question of making time for it. Yeah. This concept is pretty serious. Not there. There. In the long term. Of course, I get extra moves in there, but I'm assuming to an extent that there's some sort of line going on. Because they haven't started their flank attack yet either. Not that it's too valid because I'm not fully committing that side. There's too much going on over there. I don't want to be there. Hmm. It's weird. I think I think both the shogi side and the chess side castle away from the shogi rook. Wherever the shogi rook is, both sides castle the other way. Queen in middle also threatens bishop's head. Ooh. Okay. That's kind of valid, yeah. That one doesn't matter too much, but and that one's also yeah. Bishop's head isn't a real attack yet because I don't have anything else in the area. Like, sure, I get a pawn and then I'm kicked out, but a pawn for 2 moves in Gote doesn't feel good. The real upside, I suppose, for that for queen here would be here takes, and then I guess I lead with something else, probably. I don't know. I have lots of powerful pieces pointed in that direction. powerful pieces pointed in that direction. Pa 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 pa. And that's like a turn faster than the knight going here and then here for the follow-up, or even here, if it's getting involved in the attack. So if one of these is going here, it probably should be the queen. But then there's like 2 queen moves, which is a little slow, I think. Should have moved queen out in the beginning. The gold generals cover all of the pieces that queen would threaten, so it doesn't do anything. Chess gives you material to build and bust a fortress against Shang-Chi. Shogi has far better defense, but it doesn't have nearly as much offense. I would go as far as to say as Shogi is one of the most defensive armies that we've included. This is my top candidate move, but I'm going to make the other ones in hindsight as other ideas. I suppose I did consider that briefly as well. So lots of branches there. And that spends my battlefield charge. Oops. Oh, so you're trying to bust my center open? And you're saying I'm too slow? Maybe. I kind of disagree. Now that does slow down my knight getting involved, which is interesting, which means my knight is on defense duty a bit. And that this move might have been a misplay now. Well, it's not actually that bad, so I still could move the knight here now. And just keep building and argue that they're too slow to get here and then here. Sure. Pretty sure Lily thinks that capture was a mistake. That's silly. Yeah, and that gets in so much way. So I would have to capture... If I am doing it this way, I have to kill this way. Which is interesting. The pawn drop still works. So, because my knight's in the way. Yeah, this is just wrong. This move here is a blunder of a bishop because my attack isn't here yet. Yeah, full blunder. Okay. So option A was... Or not option A. This was here. So this idea... Oh, no, wait. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was trying something. Okay, so now it's white's turn here. Wow. So I can't do that. So this just could be in a bad spot right now, which would have made this move potentially a waste. I guess it might have threatened something, but that means I need to just follow through? Follow through! Okay. Okay. Duly noted. The drop rule on itself is a lever to crumble any defenses? Yes. But generals that the shogi has are a type of piece which is meant to create defenses under drop rules. That's part of why they're designed that way. They're made to create dynamic defenses where they have weaknesses and also, if played right, cover weaknesses, right? And then you push here. And then I go here? I don't understand. Actually, hold on. Before I just immediately... Don't snap take. What about this move? This gives up a turn. This goes here. And then my queen can potentially come here. This is just better. Longer leapers? Long leapers are basically banned from Titan's Battalion because they have serious problems with flexible starting positions on small board sizes. So you have to, if you're including long leapers, do something to them. Loading rules, cannot capture until X, bury them behind 2 more ranks to make them not be able to reach the enemy back rank too quickly in some positions. You can't have 3 leapers in flexible position games. You just can't. At least not without nerfing them in other ways. Oh. Okay. Damn it. The knight here is annoying. I'm trying to think. Maybe that was jumping the gun a bit. I can just take here instead. Yeah, that's really valid. I should have just done that. This is jumping the gun too much. I'm going here. Full verify. Okay. Oh, because the silver also backtracks that way. Interesting. Valid. That's probably one of the better ways to actually prevent most of the nonsense that I felt was coming. I have 2 silvers in hand. That's my first thought. You have a lance here. Does that change my move? I literally just missed a lance. Free gold? Oh, okay. Yep. Whoops. So I took here. So this pawn's still just here. So this was my move. So this is here. So the reading was valid and we fucked up. Downs, like, that wouldn't have happened over the board. Same idea, basically, but this is still here, which matters a lot because now I don't have this full infiltration here. I think I still go for it, technically. It still feels right. Maybe I'll be proven wrong. And this gold comes here. Oh, captures with rook. That's right. I was thinking you had to take with gold, which would have just been a bad move. This is all kinds of issues, because you can still use your battlefield charges for this bitch. Ugh. Yeah, I needed to not take that way. I need to take this immediately, to be honest. Fuck. You have a lot of compensation and a pretty solid defense still. I suppose I can still capture a bishop too. And that gives me a really good attacker. Might have been greedy though, but I feel like I just needed to do that. Oh, the Okay.
Actually, getting an instant online offer to sell your car to CarMax isn't magic. It's a real offer you can get in under 2 minutes. Ta-da!
Pretty much. There are checks, just... Oh, they went back a step. Alright, so the old line was this move. They didn't like that line, so they're doing this instead. Because that doesn't leave this hanging and get me here. Okay. And the rook moves all the way over to prevent the queen coming here. And also, like, threaten a potential infiltration. Ah, that chop, it feels so good to my chest brain, but I don't know if I should do it. I'm doing it. And then this promotes. There she is. That knight drop's scary. I am making a token, by the way. Oh, can you take there? I just had to look at that. I just had to. I'm sorry. I'm back on the main line. I just wanted to know how soon it was possible for me to capture. Gold on head instead of rook check. Valid. Does that just fucking work? I'm sorry. Tic-tac-toe nights. Alright, alright. Back to Karen. What's stopping this? Is that stoppable? Kind of? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Fascinating. Yeah, it's a full night castle. Yeah, that's the point of a balance test. Artificially raise the ELO of all involved by allowing full takebacks and discussion. Because it's more important to have the best game than it is to, you know, even for me to improve. This is a really interesting move because it's just threat mate to start with. So you have to deal with it or mate me. I guess you have this, but I could just... That does impact my attack a little maybe, but not too bad. What about also pawn drop here? Not the same. Because, like, it doesn't change this. Really? I just want to play it out. I want to see what Lily does. What is even G5 anymore? That's G5. Interesting. There's also just this. Or even this. To threaten this. Because that's threat mate again. And it forks here. What the fuck? What's the problem? Silver here? Do I give a shit? Knight here? I might care about knight there. A little bit. Pawn in hand is threat mate too. Jesus. What, here, here? No, it's not threat mate. I mean, it is with queen there. Jesus. Okay, I want to take there. I talked myself into it. It's the question is whether it's not allowed in Crazy House, so it shouldn't be involved here. Ew. Wait, why? Why do you want my bishop here? I'm sure as fuck not moving my fucking king there. You can't make me. I don't want to. I'm actually in a position where castling out of this would be a good thing. Bishop takes. Can I have your dragon? Or that pawn? Either way. Okay. Fuck. So I was supposed to take with king. That's annoying. This bishop. Because of the knight drop. Fuck me. I should have seen that the first time. Valid, valid. Because you still have this. Now you have this and this. So only legal moves are to block, which she could take, and force the queen off the board? No, one of those moves is in check. Block with chess pawn. Yep. Oh, it's just mate. No. My bishop helps a lot. Okay. Only move. Let me turn it back into a normal rook. It might not matter, but I want to. Where? Blind. There she is. The silver drop there, leading me more into the center for the queen drop here. Okay, so I actually can't take that then. I can't move here or here. So all of those are not good. This one's also not good because of that move. So not there. Here is mate in 1 because of queen drop here. here is also mate in one because of queen drop here. Okay, so even though these moves are illegal and these moves I read were bad, the question is which of these is worse? Killing this and getting the queen drop there, or I'll be back. I need some things. Sorry, guys. I had to get some water and some antacid tablets. What'd I miss? That's just mate in one. So it has to be this. This is the only move. Or by process of elimination, this is either the only move or I was stuck already. Okay. She dominates squares by default. So I need everything in this box to know where it goes. This is very important. And then she has drops too. I don't see it yet, but it's coming because I still have this bishop to cover a lot of that. I know the line I read doesn't work because of several things. And I know there's more lines. And both of those things are true. We'll see where it goes. Either she kills me or she don't, you know? I'm still a pokey son bitch. Um, on principle, because I think it could matter. No, that might have been wrong. That was wrong. They're attacking. Don't give them pieces and hands while attacking. Yeah, that was just straight wrong. Don't do that, Roland. That was just straight wrong. This is the only legal move. Only good legal move. Jesus. No, taking it is bad because giving them a bishop in hand right now is bad. Okay. That's now a legal move again. But that just leads to mate immediately. So don't go there. That's protected. That's protected. That's already determined that. Those aren't legal. That's not legal. Where are we going? Hello. Is that mate? That's mate. That works too. Same idea. GG. All right, so what was the first mistake made in this line? That's what I want to know. General rule of thumb, if you're under attack, don't give your opponent a piece in hand for no reason. Let's start it here. Just go into the line. Yeah. I think you played this much better, understood the matchup more. First mistake was edge lance by you. It's like playing without a piece. Valid. It did not matter at all. It needed, like, if it was on one of like this file, oh, that would have been so much better. Like, this scares me. This exact setup is much stronger. Here on the king file, valid, especially considering where your king ended up. Originally, that was Smirnoff, but one drink doesn't do anything. Now it's just water, and I'm using it because it was clean and all my dishes are dirty. After this is done, I have to do stuff. I think instead of sacking everything, for me, Night Lance, you should just drop a Shogi pawn on one of the attacking files. After some of the trades happened. So here, you think. Hold on. Like this move? Really? Really? I'm not so sure about this, Chief. It's an interesting idea, though, because it opens up this square by one defender, perhaps. But it still has this lance coming off the board soon, maybe. Another thing that happens is the silver taking here is countered by this. the shape, wall shape next to your king too. That's true. And this, there isn't anything stopping me, unlike the other line where the rook was able to get over. Right? There isn't anything stopping me from getting queen here. So what does black do here? Hold on. I want to look at this line more. But let's also look at this line with this here. Lance updated to center for sake of argument. What? Why wasn't it typing? Ah, you're making moves. That's why. Off. Here. You can feel free to keep making moves, by the way. I turned off my follow mode. Okay. So now we're here. Rook takes. After the knight takes, rook takes? Really? I was actually thinking here, the queen move. You're happy with this. You're really happy with this. Because the silver can't take without the knight coming back up. Oh, yeah, that's valid. Oh, it just changed 3 times. Because you wanted to emphasize it. You know what? Sure, we'll make him blue. He's special. Oh, what the oh. You accidentally killed your rook, by the way. There's nothing in hand. Where'd he go? I'll bring him back to life. There you go. Make him blue. Because he was that special boy. Or not, I guess. Is this mate? Oh, this is just mate. Okay, so you can't take him. You just can't. Understood. Make that special boy blue. So what do you do if you can't capture on I? And if you take this way, this it's not mate exactly. This is scary. You're not even gonna take. Fair enough. Is my main line back on? I clicked the wrong one. Oh, spending one of your battlefield charges? Valid. Battlefield charges take on a completely different meaning for shoguns. And their minimum battlefield charges is 5 because they can use battlefield charges tactically with the pieces they gain from the enemy army. That's interesting. Was that confusion? You need to be careful. I think, yeah, here. This is important. I was looking at this, but then I saw this idea. I do have a knight in hand, though, which is really important here, I feel. I'm still. Yeah. You some bitch. Oh, pardon my language. Yeah, it's only legal move to do that. That's valid. Um, what if Shoga's. Stop that. Too complicated. Why? Why? Both of these. Lily, why'd you make this move? I need to understand. Have you to make an extremely tiny positional difference? Yes. Spicing up the position. Oh, for the drop there? Sure, I guess. That made me sad. Hold on. I don't want to do this. And now I have to actually think more back here. Not there specifically. Yeah, here specifically. I just want to relook at this move. Just real quick in my head. Okay. I'm not worried about the queen loss. I'm worried that my attack plan doesn't work. If you don't have an attack plan, you don't have an attack. You're just making bad moves. You know? Because my thought was, because I forgot there was a 4/4 silver here, was this, and then dead silver meant threat mate. Just about. Knight takes was like potentially an idea, or definitely an idea, but like force the king out into the open, then do mean things. Here, like, there's a really good argument to be made for this, or just something to block down this file. Even this, there's a good argument for. Maybe this, now this. Positionally, this is an idea move. Back here, because I want to unpin my queen so that they can get involved in the attack, maybe. However, I think there might be a mate here, which is why I'm hesitant. Because how could there not be? In this direction, madness lies. Yeah, it's a pretty similar in some ways. Except on that line, you get the rook in hand, my queen lives on board. Was this knight move right? Shouldn't it have been the knight drop, not the knight move, maybe? I don't know. What about rook captures here? I don't know. This little innocent silver move is an incredible defensive resource. My brain is starting to fry now. All right. Lily, as interesting as this position is, my brain's failing now. So I do have a question before you go, Lily. Where do you think Shogi is balance wise? Just from this game, this set of games? Because I have my thoughts, which is it's kind of close, but you know, the two lances do a lot, but they don't do anything the chess army doesn't do. So, like between the lances and the knights, they get all their counterplay at the moment. Yeah, it feels kind of close. We'll come back to this. I'm going to call the position here. Let me export this line. Let me find line 1 of this game. We don't need to nerf Lily. Anyone who asks to nerf Lily just needs to get good. Okay, yeah, so this is just... Lily, small favor. You want to buff me? Where's my Neuralink? Shit. All right. Good night, guys. Thanks for coming out. I'm actually going to upload this straight on the main channel. We'll see how this goes.